Fear knows my name. It whispers before I wake. It tells me I won't make it until I choose not to listen. Fear never knocks, it walks in like it belongs. Memorizes every weakness, every regret, every unanswered question, and waits for the quiet moment to convince you it's telling the truth. I've carried you long enough, mistaking your voice for wisdom. You called it protection, but it felt like a prison. You told me to play it safe, stay invisible, expect the worst, trust nobody, dream smaller, hopeless. Because disappointment hurts less than believing. I listened for years until one day I realized you never built a future, you only guarded a cage. The louder you became, the smaller my world became. Fear, you stole enough nights, enough chances, enough pieces of who I was. Oh, fear, you made me doubt every gift, every dream, every step. But today you don't get the final word. Yeah, you wore different disguises, perfection, comparison, failure, rejection, success, even confidence. Sometimes you convinced me I wasn't ready, other times you convinced me I was too late. No matter which direction I looked, you always found another reason to stop moving. Then I noticed something strange. Every opportunity you warned me about was standing on the other side of courage. Maybe courage was never the absence of fear. Maybe it was walking anyway. Fear, you don't know my future, you only describe the past. Fear, you've been loud but hope has been patient, waiting for me to finally listen. I stopped asking, how do I silence fear? Instead I asked, why have I given it the microphone? That question changed everything, because voices only become powerful when we believe they deserve our attention. Now when fear arrives, I recognize it. I don't argue, I don't run, I simply keep walking. One step, one breath, one choice at a time. Some days my head still shakes, my heart still races, the uncertainty still follows me. But movement has become louder than hesitation. Progress has become stronger than perfection, and hope is finally learned how to speak without whispering. Fear, you'll probably visit again tomorrow, but you'll arrive as a visitor, not an owner. Choose my life. Maybe fear will always walk beside me, but it will never walk ahead of me again. Yeah, because every step I take in spite of it becomes proof that courage was inside me long before I knew you were there. Long before I knew your name, you sat beside me in classrooms, on empty bus rides, inside silent bedrooms. You disguised yourself as caution, as logic, as reality. You told me not to speak, not to trust, not to dream too loudly, because disappointment was waiting on the other side of hope. I believed you because your voice sounded familiar, and familiar often feels like truth. You never needed to chain my hands, you only needed to convince my mind. Oh, fear, every tomorrow with yesterday's pain. Fear, you made the impossible feel certain, but certainty was always your greatest lie. I missed opportunities before they even arrived. Not because the doors were locked, because I never reached for the handle. I've rehearsed failure so many times that success started feeling like something reserved for someone else. I watched life through windows instead of living it. I became a spectator inside my own story, waiting for confidence to arrive before taking action, never realizing confidence was waiting for action first. And life ask me something fear never could answer. If nothing changes, where will you be 5 years from now? That question silenced the excuses, because suddenly staying the same felt scarier than moving forward. I realized fear had always shown me the price of trying, but never the price of never trying. And somehow that cost was far greater than every risk I had imagined. The prison door was never locked, I was only afraid to push it open. You promised to protect me, but protection without freedom is still captivity. You don't decide how the story ends, you've narrated enough chapters. Now it's my turn to write the next one. I'm done negotiating with every doubtful thought. Not because they disappeared, because they don't deserve a permanent seat at my table. They can knock, they can speak, they can question, but they don't get to become the author of my future. I've spent enough years living according to possibilities that never happen. Now I'd rather fail trying than succeed at hiding. Today, fear still walks beside me, before every decision, before every new beginning, before every dream worth pursuing. The difference is I finally understand its place. Fear is a passenger, not the driver. It can warn me without controlling me. It can speak without defining me. It can exist without defeating me. Because courage was never louder than fear, it was simply more faithful. It kept showing up long after fear ran out of reasons. Every step forward weakens the voice that once convinced you to stay still. Fear, you'll still appear when the road feels uncertain, but uncertainty no longer means I'm lost. Whoa. Fear, you may still whisper, but hope has learned to sing louder. I'll choose movement over hesitation, faith over panic, purpose over comfort, truth over every lie you ever taught me. Because the life waiting ahead is worth more than the safety you kept offering. Maybe courage isn't standing without shaking. Maybe courage is shaking and stepping forward anyway. Maybe bravery isn't loud. Maybe it sounds like a quiet voice saying, try again. Maybe freedom isn't reaching a place where fear never returns. Maybe freedom is finally understanding that fear no longer owns your decisions, no longer writes your identity, no longer chooses your duration. One day you'll look back at the lie fear tried to steal, and you'll realize lost the moment you decided to keep walking. Not because the road stopped being difficult, but because you finally believed the voice inside your heart more than the voice inside your fear. And from that day forward, every step became proof that fear could follow you, but it would never lead you again.